Hello, welcome to the start of a weekly reading vlog. It is the start of June, which means it is the beginning of the Amazing Readathon. This is a competitive team-based readathon hosted by my friend Bree from Four Paws and a Book. I am co-hosting this year, and I am co-hosting Team Spooky along with Leandra, the TBR0. If you, like me, know nothing about the Amazing Race, I will tell you about this readathon. There's different cities we're going to be going to throughout the month, and we will find out as we are traveling to get there. It is the second day of the readathon. I'm really good at procrastinating, so I'm working on finishing my other videos. So there's going to be a little overlap of the last vlog that I posted and this one because I am reading them for points and prompts and stuff, so I want to tell you about that. But I'm not going to go into detail for the ones that I already talked about. So the first prompt has dropped and we are going to Toronto, Canada, and the prompt is to read a book that you didn't buy. So for this, I'm going to be reading The Chain by Adrienne McKinty. I stole this from Mel's house whenever I went there in January, so I'm excited to be getting to this one. I've heard such mixed things about it. I need to know what's going on in this book. So in this readathon, you are traveling to cities, you have a prompt to get to that city, and then once you're there, you can do sightseeing. So you have to do the prompt to get to the city first before you can do sightseeing. You can read books out of order, but you can't log books out of order. Here's the thing. This vlog is going to show you how my brain works. I feel like things come together very nicely, but the process of getting there is so chaotic all the time. So this is my first book that I will be logging for the readathon. But before that, there's two other books that need to be finished for my other video. I really wanted to get the other video done in time, but it just did not happen. So that's why this weird overlap is happening. But it's my week. This is a weekly vlog. That's what's happening. So I will be reading this in a little bit. A book that I did for a sightseeing prompt is The Other Side of Night by Adam Hamdy. If you watched my last vlog, I did DNF this. I DNF'd it 56% in, so that means I still get to log it. So this book is in my team genre, and it is one of the 500-point sightseeing prompts, so I get points for that as well. Obviously, I didn't like this one. I DNF'd it. Actually, this was the second time I DNF'd it. So I do have a sightseeing prompt to log later. And then right now I am currently reading Intercepts by TJ Payne. This is a horror book and it will fit for a one-word title. I believe, I can't remember how many points this is, but I'll let you know later whenever I log it. To get to Toronto, I will be reading this. Once I get to Toronto, I'll be logging my little bit of sightseeing I did from the plane. And then after that, I will just be reading in order as things go. If there's time, I will try to read another sightseeing prompt. If not, I will be doing the next prompt. We don't know the city prompts until we are ready to go to the next destination. So it will be a surprise. And when it happens is a surprise as well. So I have to get to reading because to be able to log both of these, I have to finish this one first. So my plan is to finish all of Intercepts tonight. I'm probably just going to tell you if I liked it or not, and then where I'm logging it for. And then tomorrow in the morning, I'm going to be reading The Chain by Adrienne McKinty, and I'll be giving you my full thoughts on this one. So sorry the beginning of this was so chaotic. My brain is on overload, and that's not the readathon's fault. That's just who I am as a person. So I'm on reading sprints on my channel. I've been joined by Cassidy, Leandra, and Kara, so it's been a lot of fun. And I'm going to get back to that. We are on the last sprint, so I'm going to read a little bit more, finish up sprints, read Intercepts tonight. I'll talk to you in the morning. Weekly vlogs are hard for me because I don't do anything very interesting, but maybe I will leave my house for once this week. Good morning. I finished Intercepts and I am truly obsessed with this. This is one of my favorite books of the year. I'm not really going to talk about it anymore. I'll have the video for this linked in the description for you. If you like psychological, a little bit of sci-fi horror, highly recommend this one. I'm now done talking about books that will be in other videos, so everything else I'll actually talk about. I am getting ready to start The Chain by Adrienne McKinty. My goal is to read this whole thing today. It has been about 3 days since the first prompt dropped, so I'm thinking maybe tonight or tomorrow will be when we switch. So I want to get this one done. It's not super long. I am scared of this one because people love the first half and then don't like the second half, and why? I don't get it, but I need to know. So I'm really looking forward to this one. This is following a woman who gets a call saying that your daughter has been kidnapped, and to get her back you have to kidnap somebody else. It's this whole chain of this continuing to happen. You have to pay a $10,000 ransom, and then you have to kidnap somebody else, and then if you don't kidnap somebody else, like another kid, then your kid is killed, and it's just like a cycle. So we are watching our main character try to do what she can to get her daughter back. She is not having a good time. She is a single mom, and she has gone through cancer treatments recently and has just gotten a call from her doctor. So things are not looking good with that. And it's just like, she's so down on her luck, and then this happens. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I will check in with you a little bit later. Things are getting intense. I have made it 128 pages into the chain, and I'm really enjoying this so far. It is just following this woman who is trying to get her kid back, and that happens to be by kidnapping another kid. So, just the usual things happening, you know? She is dealing with the fact that she has to put another family into a very shitty situation like this, but also feeling like there's absolutely no other way because she can't risk her own daughter. So it's just a lot of like interesting, not back and forth because she's very much committed to this, but like I guess just like thoughts that go into a situation like this. Obviously it is so messed up, but she is just trying to like keep things from people and also like hide the fact that her daughter is missing, and then also be stalking another family to kidnap their kid. So just like very happy-go-lucky things happening in this book. It's interesting because the people that are part of the chain are contacting her and they're like almost helping her, and where I ended, it's at such a good spot, and I was like, I'm gonna end and talk to you all right now because like things could really start to like be happening at this moment. Like there have been different situations obviously going on the whole time, like trying to find a place to hide a child and stalking the kid to make sure that they take the same path and stuff like that. But things have started to like really move on at this point, but it's just the very beginning. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. I still like what happens. I'm going to see like, is there part 1 and part 2 in here? Because everybody that I've talked to feels like halfway it kind of switches, but it doesn't look like it's in 2 different parts. Oh, okay. Part 2 happens pretty far in. So I wonder if that's what people mean by the second half because it's in 2 parts. But that'll be very interesting to see. So I'm having a really good time with this one so far. Obviously, if you are a parent, I'm sure this is really difficult to read, but for me, it's just like very interesting psychologically. So far, so good. I'm also on track to finish this, not like super soon because I do have a decent amount left, but what time is it? Currently cannot see any of my clocks, but it's the afternoon. I'm trying to get it done as quickly as possible. I'm about to go and organize my pantry closet, I guess. It's a mix of pet stuff and like not canned things, but like pre-packaged stuff that doesn't need to like be refrigerated or anything. But that's kind of a disaster, and it's just been causing me a lot of stress recently. I'm gonna keep listening to the audiobook of this and work on organizing that pantry. I guess I could show it to you if you want, but do people care about that? I don't know. I'm gonna keep reading. If you were curious, this is what this looks like. It's truly just a mix of random things that are not organized at all. Like, why are dog treats in between ramen and syrup? Good question. So let's fix it. I have been working on reorganizing my pantry. I'm almost done, so I'll show you that in a little bit. But I am now 232 pages into the chain. I did get into part 2, which starts here, so I'm a little bit into that. I thought about giving you an update before the switch, but I figured now would be a little bit better of a time, I guess. So I definitely understand the issues that people have with the second part. I really loved the first part. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was fast paced. It was very tense. I really enjoyed it. I'd probably rate it like 4.5 stars. And now we started off with like something else, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And then that didn't continue. And I think we're going to get a little bit more of that. And it's going to be more of like trying to, how do I say this without spoiling anything? Trying to like figure out why things are happening and not just trying to only survive. Obviously that is still a big part of it, but there's some more like investigating going on now. And while I do want to know the answers, I'm not sure if I'm obsessed with what's going on. I'm still enjoying it, but I feel like to go from the pacing that we got in the first part to then abruptly shift to something like this, it feels weird. But also, it's like a little before 2/3 in when that happens. So I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Apparently he's from Ireland. Interesting. I am really glad that I'm reading this. I've been putting it off because of a lot of people's thoughts on it and not liking the second part, but also I did not like his book that came out after this. I found it a little bit offensive, actually, and I didn't think it was really that great of a time outside of that. So I don't know. I am liking this probably more than I expected to. I am wondering if we're going to get answers to things, and I think it'll be interesting to see everything that comes from that, but I am going to finish this up. I'm going to keep working on organizing my pantry. I think I'm really somebody that I will get like halfway into a project and I'm like, I'm done. And I've done part of it, so I'm trying really hard to not let myself just like ignore it and be like, I'll do the other part later, because I won't do it again. I will just wait till the whole thing gets bad again, and then I'll only do the parts that I have already done, which is like the pet stuff and then our food. And then at the bottom there's just like a bunch of like grocery bags that need to be gone through to see if I can like use them for cat litter and stuff like that, and then just like random stuff at the bottom that needs to probably either be thrown out or put in a different place, because like there's too many things in there. So I'm gonna get back to doing that and finishing up the chain. Jaws for parents. Interesting. Oh, also I did want to show you my bookmark. This is the Team Spooky bookmark for the Amazing Readathon. It is foiled. Oh, my fingerprints are all over it. That's embarrassing. Anyway, I am not sure if there are any of these left. I think there might be for this team, maybe, possibly. But I just thought I would show this off. Now I'm going to get back to reading and organizing. Thanks. Thanks, Nova. Can you come over here? Can you come over? Cats are fun. I finished the chain, and I get it. I get why people don't like the second part of this. I was interpreting it as like the second half, but it's split into two parts, and roughly 2/3 in is when it switches. And the thing is, why? It just like, I don't, okay. My complaints are that I don't know how to talk about this last third without spoiling the direction of part one. I just feel like it was so predictable. Like there was a apparent twist at the end, and I thought that it was so obvious that I rewound part of it, and I was like, wait, is it just this obvious, or did they just tell us that this person is whatever, and I, like, just didn't process that they said that? Like, no, it was just that obvious. And then the relationship in here was so weird. And then there's a plot line with the relationship and another aspect, which, like, I don't get. There's information that is shared, and our main character is like, cool. And also, by the way, this person that she is in a relationship with / has been helping her try to get her daughter back the whole time just happens to be her ex-husband's brother, but nobody talks about it. Like, it's fine. I mean, I would never, I don't know, the idea of dating your ex-husband's, like, that you have a kid with his brother, it's just, like, odd to me. I personally would not do that, but, like, whatever. I don't care. But, like, the fact that nobody even brings it up is odd. And that part was definitely an issue in the first part. But I don't know what to rate this, because I feel like the first part was, like, 4.5 stars. I don't think it was perfect, but I was really enjoying it. And then the second part just felt so cliche and dumb. So I think I'm gonna give it maybe 3.5 stars. Maybe probably 3.5, because I didn't really like the second part that much. It was like readable, but also it was annoying. I did like it more than The Island. I logged this for the Toronto City prompt, and then I was able to log The Other Side of Night for a 5-word title for 500 points, and then Intercepts for a 1-word title I didn't realize that I had them both as the number of words in the title. Anyway, and then this was 400 points. So 900 sightseeing points, and then 352 pages, I believe this was. And then this was in my team genre, so another 50 points. Lots of good reading for leg one. So it's actually Thursday at this point, but Monday night is when I finished the chain. You can do the math if you want to know how many points I got. So the next prompt is to read a book with 2 POVs. So for this, I'm picking another book that got onto my TBR game. The chain was also on my TBR game, and that is The Choice by Gillian McAllister. I really loved Wrong Place, Wrong Time and did not like Just Another Missing Person. So I'm interested to see how this goes. This one is a little bit of a stretch, but I talked to Cassidy and her mom told me it was okay. So yell at Cassidy's mom, I guess. So we are following a character who is out at a bar and this like creepy man hits on her, and then she leaves and she is like followed by this person, and he like tries to grab her and she pushes him and he falls down the stairs. So then the rest of the book we are following her, but in 2 different timelines, seeing how this could have played out if she called the cops and got him help versus leaving him there. She does not know if he's alive, terribly injured, anything like that. So it is the same character, but we are getting 2 different points of view. It's 2 different lifetimes of hers, really. So that is what I'm reading for this. I'm really excited about it. I am nervous. I have gotten a whole chapter in. So I am 15 pages in, and my goal is to read this whole thing today because it's been a little bit of time since the last prompt was dropped. That was Monday night. It's Thursday, so I'm thinking it could be anytime today. So I need to get to reading. If I don't finish it in time, I will still be able to log it for our new city. And it's fine. If it moves on, I'll just like still be able to log it for that because cumulative points are how you win. And then I'll be able to move on to the next one. I don't anticipate being able to sightsee in this. The last 2 days had too many other things going on, trying to get caught up on stuff. I also need to finish organizing my pantry. I did part of it, and I need to do the rest of it. So I think I'm going to get back to that today as well. So I will check in with you a little bit later. I mostly can just read for today, so that's exciting. And I'm hoping moving forward, I'll like actually check in with you most days and like stay up to date on things. I'm rambling. I'm going to go read. Goodbye. I just sat here to vlog because Bowser was sitting right here, and then I sat down and he ran away. He now I guess is gonna lay over there because he doesn't like me. Anyway, I have been reading The Choice. I am now 116 pages in, and I am liking it, but I don't really care that much. It's feeling like a 3-star read at this moment, which is fine. I wish that I had a lot to say, but really we are just following this character and watching her react to the same situation in different ways and then seeing the outcome of that. So like the one is if she stays and tries to help this guy, and then like obviously she has contacted the police, and the back says that doing that gives her these possible assault charges because she pushed someone down the steps and seriously hurt them. You joining us? Hello. So then in the other one, she ends up like pretty much going on the run because obviously the dude is found because he wasn't helped, ends up dying, and she is like, well, obviously I did that, but like nobody can know that. So she's like very on edge at all times and is just like stressed about that. It doesn't feel like there's a lot happening because all she's doing in the one is being like, oh my god, I didn't mean to hurt this guy, because obviously she thought it was someone that was like coming after her. And then the other one is like, oh my god, I could be arrested for murder. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's feeling like 3 stars, so I just don't have a lot to say. But I have been playing Animal Crossing. I restarted my island recently, and it's been very fun. I'm glad that I did that. So I'm going to keep listening to the audiobook. I have not done really anything else that I needed to do today, but I'm enjoying playing Animal Crossing, so that's all that matters. Today's my dad's birthday, so I'm going out to eat later. So I have about 3 more hours to read until I have to leave. Adam works late today, so I'll pretty much be reading until then. Okay, Bowser, I'm sure they don't want to hear you pant. We're gonna go. I'm gonna read some more and keep playing Animal Crossing. It's now a little after 4 o'clock and I have made it halfway into the choice. I'm 175 pages in and I'm gonna DNF this. The thing is, I just like truly don't care about anything that is happening. We are watching our character in these 2 different timelines and seeing how things are happening based on 2 different choices she could have made. And I thought that that would lead to a lot of really interesting psychological discussions, and I feel like we're just watching her freak out and not really think about things, and that's why I thought this would be interesting. This does not feel like a thriller. I am not invested in anything. Well, like, it is a thriller, but it's not very thrilling. I feel like there feels like no stakes for some reason. I don't really know why that is the case, but it's just not holding my attention. The thing is, this would get like 2.5 or 3 stars, which is still like a fine book. Like, for me, 2 stars is I was bored, not that I specifically didn't like it. I mean, obviously I lean towards not liking it, but like, I don't know. I just have no real issues, but also I don't care about anything. So this is my city book for leg 2, which is Buenos Aires, and I am logging it. So we have like currency in this game, and you spend different currency to do different things. And I'm honestly considering using the one that will half my page count, so then later on I can like fly and get more points, like if I read a longer book, because I only read 175, 180 pages of this book anyway. So I don't know. I might do that. I think I am going to do that. Why not? So my plan is, because I don't know when this leg is going to end, I have this sci-fi horror novella called Walking Practice that I'm going to read. There's some drawings in here, which is cool. This is pitched as like kind of Squid Game. It's a part psychological thriller and part searing critique of the social structures that marginalize those who are different. I think it's an alien that is able to shapeshift and has been stranded on Earth. So I am hoping that I can finish this in time, and then this counts for another 500-page sightseeing prompt to read a book with all of the vowels on the cover. So we have A, E in a novel, I, O, and then U is down here in the translator's name. So it's any letters on the cover. So this will work for another pretty big point sightseeing prompt if I can get it done in time. So I'm hoping to get to this pretty quickly, like start it now and finish it in the next hour and a half. And that will take me up to the time where I need to leave to drive to my dad's birthday dinner. We're meeting like in between where we live, so I have to drive 45 minutes. And Monica and I are starting a buddy read of A Step Past Darkness tonight. I am sure this will fit into some sightseeing prompt, but we both went to a book festival together recently and met the author, and we have signed copies. So I am planning on starting this on the drive there. Another thing that I might start, maybe on the way there, I'll start this, and then on the way back I'll start my read of the Hunger Games. On my Patreon, we're doing a read along of the Hunger Games series, and then we're gonna do a Google Meet hangout at the end to discuss it. I have read this twice before. This will be another reread for me, but this works for the sightseeing prompt of Brie gave it 5 stars. So that's another 500 point thing, I believe. I'm hoping that one of these 2 will work for the next prompt, but if not, this 100% works for Brie gave it 5 stars. And I don't remember any of the other sightseeing prompts, but I will let you know what I'm going to end up going for this one. Also, another book that I will be reading in this video is The Changeling by Victor LaValle. I am starting a buddy read of this on Sunday with Monica and Kelsey from Slime and Slashers. Kelsey and I were planning on buddy reading this in June. This vlog has pretty much turned into me reading books from my TBR game, which is not very common. But I think there were 6 or 7 books, and 4 of them were not planned for other videos, so I was hoping I could read them this week. So The Chain was on there, The Choice is on there, A Step Past Darkness, and The Changeling. So those are my top priorities, and then because this is for Patreon and we're discussing the whole series at the end of this month, I really want to get to this one. So I expect this to be the rest of this video. Maybe if I can fit in another book, I will try to do that. But I'm going to a concert Saturday night and a book cruise on Sunday, so we'll see how much reading time I get. I'm going to jump into this. I'll probably just check in halfway through, tell you if I'm liking it or not, and then finish it. But Eric LaRocca has blurbed this, which is very exciting, and I cannot wait to get into this one. So I'm 40% into Walking Practice. This is a sci-fi horror novella, and we're following an alien who is able to completely change what their body looks like. So they are able to pick their physical characteristics, decide if they are male or female, and They are doing that because they are on dating apps trying to find people to sleep with to then murder. Like, they will be mid-act and then there goes your head, you know? Just the things you should be concerned about in that moment. Um, and it's like kind of funny. It's like a very quirky feeling book, but the alien has to eat to survive and has decided that this is the way to go about doing that. So where I am right now, that is all that has happened. It was a fairly detailed first encounter with that situation, and it's just like it's so funny. Very interesting to read about. So this is a translated book. The author is an artist and writer in South Korea, and it is his first novel, and then Victoria Cottle is the one that is translating it. And I was looking, and this author's like thought behind this was meeting people on dating apps and feeling like, what if they're a murderer? So I guess it's kind of the perspective of the possible murderer that he's dating. Very interesting. I am about to leave to go to my dad's birthday dinner, so I figured I would check in even though I'm not quite halfway. I think this is fun so far. It's very interesting. I'm expecting it to be 4 stars at this point. Super, super quick read. I'm really hoping that the prompt does not drop in the next 55 minutes or so that I can finish it on the drive and then log it when I get there, because I feel like I am racing the clock. I'm hoping to get there a little early so I can check in with you about how the rest of this book went, but I'm having a very good time with it, and I'm really excited to go eat. I mean, we're just going to Golden Corral, which is not the place I would choose for my birthday dinner, but I'm excited to eat mashed potatoes. So I have finished walking practice. I finished it when I got to dinner, but everybody was ready to go, so I didn't talk to you, but like I finished it as I got here, and I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I don't have a lot to say about this. It's definitely a very gory, gruesome, like kind of sci-fi book because it is an alien. It has so much like body horror and like gross stuff in it, and it was also funny. This is like a pretty quirky book, and I really enjoyed it. So 4 stars from me, and this gives me 500 sightseeing points for the cover with all 5 vowels on it. I wish I had more to say about it, but there's just a lot of like really dark, gruesome stuff in it, and it deals a lot with being queer and being accepted. There's a lot of like sexual content in this as well, but I thought it was a really interesting read. So I'm gonna go home now. I think I'm gonna start A Step Past Darkness on my drive home, since Monica and I are buddy reading it, but it's gonna get dark soon, so I'm gonna go, and I'll probably talk to you in the morning. Good morning. It's like 11:30. I am gonna make this quick because my neighbors on both sides of my house are currently mowing. So that's annoying. I am about to head to the library. I have 2 books to pick up. I'm picking up The Minders by John Mars and Death in the Details, which is the book club pick for the Midnight Society Book Club hosted by Elizabeth from Reading Riley. I'm the co-host for this month, so I have that on the way. I'm also dropping off these 2 books, and I think I'm gonna also stop by Taco Bell because they have the new like Cheez-It tostada, and it's so weird and I kind of want to try it. So last night I got 20% into A Step Past Darkness, and this works perfectly because we got a new prompt drop today, and the prompt is to read a book with a movement in the title. So Step works perfectly for that. I am so excited that that worked. I don't understand how all of the books from my TBR that weren't planned for other videos that I wanted to get in this week are working so perfectly, but so far that has just been incredible. So onto a new city. I'm hoping to get a lot of this read today. Bowser is really excited to go to the library with me. It's one of his favorite things to do. I have a drive-through library so he can hang out and I don't have to go in. Are you so excited? Why are you smacking me? Well, I know why you're smacking me. Once I'm home, I'm going to talk to you more about A Step Past Darkness, but I am enjoying this one so far. It's dual timeline. There's like a weird mind. There's possible sidekicks. I'm enjoying it. I forgot to bring my microphone. Sorry if you can hear my car. Also, Bowser's crying in the background because he thinks that something is happening, even though it's not. Anyway, I got the Cheez-It tostada, but I got chicken instead of beef. What's up, buddy? Also, I just got to The Minders and Death in the Details from the library. Bowser! So, this is what this looks like. Interesting. I did swap the lettuce for onions because I don't like shredded lettuce. So, we'll see how this goes. Ignore Bowser. Oh gosh, it's falling apart. Okay. Well, I just have this part of it now. Oh no. Well, it's very messy. I don't know how I feel about this. Here's a Cheez-It by itself. I don't think it tastes like Cheez-Its. Interesting. Good morning. It is Saturday, and I have made it 72% into A Step Past Darkness. I had Patreon sprints last night, and after that, I was just like, I don't feel like doing anything. Well, I laid in bed and read a little bit, but I just like truly did not feel like updating the vlog. Oh, let me go grab my other book too. So my plans for the day. I'm going to a concert tonight. I'm very excited. My sister and Monica from A Little Bit of Monica are coming. I think they're going to get here at like 5:15, 5:30. We're going to go get dinner and then go to the concert. Super excited about that. So before then, I need to film a video, possibly edit the video. I want to finish this and maybe read a little bit more of this. Quickly about this, I'm not really going to update you on anything, but this is The Office BFFs by Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey. One of the sightseeing prompts is to read a book by two authors. This has been on my TBR for a long time. I keep putting it off. I will say, I think the audiobook is the way to go for this. It feels like they're just talking to each other. Slashy, like it feels very much like their podcast, which I've listened to a couple episodes of. This does have some like pictures in it and stuff, but I think that reading it might feel a little strange. I just got to part 5, so I am 84 pages in. I feel like this is fine if you want to get some behind the scenes stuff and don't really want to listen to their podcast. But if you've listened to their podcast, I feel like you don't need to also read this. But I did get the signed first edition, which is fun. So I'm just making my way through this. It probably won't get done in time for sightseeing for this round because of the concert, but it is what it is. Okay, so A Step Past Darkness. I think the last time I talked to you, I was only 20% in, but I am really, really liking this. It has a pretty low average rating. Like, I think it was 3.55 when I looked last night, and I really liked the author's previous book, Never Saw Me Coming. And there's just like something about her writing that is very interesting to me because I feel like both this and her other book were on the slower side, but I think that I liked them more than a lot of people. This does have a lot of, I think, 4-star reviews, but at this point, I can see myself giving this 5 stars. It has some like speculative elements in it, which I am obsessed with. One of the characters that we are following is a psychic and like is actually a psychic. And then there's some really unique other things going on with the plot. There's a lot of like religious cult type stuff in here, which is one of my favorite things. I'm liking all of the characters. I don't know. It's just like really, really working for me. The plot definitely is slower moving. Like not a whole lot has happened. And sometimes I find books like that boring, which like I could see other people finding this one boring, but there's just like something about, I don't know if it's the writing or just like the plot being interesting enough that like when not a lot is happening, I'm still invested. I don't know. We are getting the perspective from these different characters in the present and the past. So I think I told you that there was the whole mine thing that happened, and there is some like weird stuff that went on with that, and then they like formed this pact to like not talk to each other anymore. They all like moved schools. It was a whole thing. And then in the present, one of them dies, and they obviously think that it's related to that. Everybody in the town is so weird about it too. Like, I don't know, weird vibes. I really enjoy it. The speculative things are so interesting, and I can see people not liking it because it's like not realistic at all. But I don't know, really, really working for me. And maybe that's because I read more horror and like some of these elements. I don't think it's a horror book at all, but it just kind of feels like that kind of speculative stuff and not stuff you typically find in like a standard thriller. So I'm really liking it, like truly having a good time. Depending on the end, I might give this one 5 stars. Like I have had a really good time with it. Also, the character in here that is named Lexi, it is spelled the same as me. It's very weird to see. So I'm gonna go to Dunkin', and I need to get gas before the concert tonight, which is the real reason I'm going, and I'm just going to get Dunkin' because I can. I haven't been to Dunkin' in a while, and here's the thing, probably maybe not the best coffee ever, but I don't really like coffee, and I only want super sweet cold brew. But I'm super, super excited to finish this up today. I am really having such a great time with it. It is Sunday evening. I have a lot to talk to you about. So yesterday I was very busy. I spent some time filming and editing and uploading a video. If you're looking for some underrated horror books, I'll have that linked in the description for you. That pretty much like took up my whole afternoon. We had to clean up the house a little bit too, and then my sister and Monica came over at like 5 o'clock. We left a little bit after that and we went to the concert. We went to this really good pizza place. It was a Chicago deep dish pizza, and it was so funny because Monica and I were just sitting there talking about the book that we were buddy reading, and my sister doesn't really read and she had no idea what was going on. It was hilarious. Then we saw Queen Herbie and it was so much fun. You could tell she really loves performing. It was a small venue. There was a moment where we made awkward eye contact during the like one song that I didn't know, so that was very uncomfortable. And then the opening act was a DJ, so there was 45 minutes of these two dancing. Well, there were 3 of them dancing. 2 of them were actually dancing and the other one was like so awkward. But other than that, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the concert. She's a great performer. So then I finished A Step Past Darkness. I'm gonna give this one 5 stars. It is like kind of weird. It definitely has some like supernatural kind of things in it with the genre blend, very like speculative stuff, which I love, but I would not really go around recommending this. I feel like it feels slower paced, but throughout the book there were always things that kept my attention. I think there was a lot of very interesting stuff. I liked all the characters. I did not find that this book was too long. There was a little bit of a romance in it that I enjoyed. I just think that it was done really well. I wouldn't say this is a 5-star. There's like an all-time favorite, I'm gonna think about this all the time kind of book, but I really liked it. It kind of caught me off guard. I did enjoy this author's previous book, but I didn't expect to love this one as much as I did because it has lower ratings. But I tend to like thrillers with lower ratings. Well, not always, but like they work for me more than they work for other people. 5 stars for this, and I logged this for a book with a movement word in the title, and then I was also able to log a sightseeing book before the next prompt dropped, which happened this afternoon. So I finished The Office BFFs by Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey. I read this for a book with 2 or more authors. I've had this on my shelves for a while. I don't really have any thoughts about it. I think that it's fine if you want some backstory, but if you've listened to their podcast, I feel like you don't really need to listen to this. I do think the audiobook is the way to go, but I finished that right before the prompt dropped. I also am 65% into Heartstopper Volume 5. I don't really know what I'm reading that for, but I am reading it. And then later tonight, I need to start The Changeling because I'm starting my buddy read of that with Monica and Kelsey. But Monica and I are going to a book cruise soon. There's this local company that does Baltimore Harbor cruise things, and then a local bookstore like has a partnership with them, and they have a book swap. Oh, I need to pick a book that I'm going to take for that. Probably going to pick stuff that's been on my on haul pile for a while, but I'm really excited for that. As the Sunset Cruise, there's some Prosecco and some snacks. I'm going to bring some dinosaur fruit gummies with me too. Monica's leaving tonight when we get back, so I plan on reading The Changeling then. We're supposed to get to a third in, and Monica and I played Overcooked all day instead of reading. So that'll be a little bit of a rush, but it's okay. Hello, it is Monday morning. It was such a fun but long weekend. The book cruise was incredible. It was really great weather. I was a little nervous because sometimes I get seasick and sometimes I don't. Like the last time I was on a boat, I didn't. I think as long as we're moving the whole time, I'm good, because the time before that, I kind of puked off the side of the boat. But it was so much fun. I am glad that I brought a snack box because there were like light snacks provided, but it was like these 2 really small veggie trays, and there were tons of people there, and it was absolutely not enough. I took, what was it called? The Last Invitation? No, something by Darby Kane. And I ended up getting the second book in the Thursday Murder Club. I don't own the first one, but I think I gave it 4 stars. And I'm interested in reading the second one. So I really wanted to get Patricia Wants to Cuddle, but somebody before me took that. So that was a lot of fun. I had a great time hanging out with Monica, and then when she left, I started reading The Changeling. This is a buddy read that I'm doing with Monica and Kelsey. Kelsey has quit. I'm debating. I am now 128 pages in. Last night I got 22% in, and then this morning I finished off our buddy read from yesterday, and I just got to part 4. And if I like this part, I'm going to continue, but if I don't, I'm going to DNF. I know the synopsis says what it is, but I don't really think this is my kind of story. I bought this at a book festival last year when the author was there because I've read other books by him and enjoyed them. But since then, I have read 3 or 4 stories like this, and I don't tend to love any of them. So we are following a character who, as a kid, his father disappeared, and then he starts having strange recurring dreams, and now he is a father himself. And sorry, there's a plane going by. And his wife is starting to kind of lose her mind and is saying that the baby is not theirs. It's not the baby she gave birth to. She's acting really weird. And most of it has been really boring up until the last chapter. So that last chapter is the only reason I'm going to continue, because that was interesting. But as of right now, this is not a favorite for me, which is a bummer, but I kind of expected it after rereading the synopsis recently. I have restarted my Animal Crossing Island recently, so I'm going to get back to doing that and listen to the audiobook of this. I can't remember if I told you yesterday, but there was a new prompt drop, and it is a book that has won an award, and this one has. Cannot remember what it is, but it has won something. American Book Award, a Locus Award for Best Horror Novel, and a British Fantasy Award for Best Horror Novel, and a World Fantasy Award for Best Novel. Multiple awards. I am glad that I'm getting to this one because it's one that I've been putting off because I was scared to read it. Fingers crossed the next part goes well, because like I would like to enjoy this because I have a signed personalized copy, but we'll see. I currently have so much to talk to you. It is Monday night, and I have made it 220 pages into The Changeling, which is exactly 50%, which means I'm going to DNF. I just don't care about anything that is happening in the story. I don't tend to like stories like this. I am not feeling invested in any way, so it is one that I am just so bored with. It's not keeping my attention, and I just don't feel like reading the rest of this, which like really sucks considering I have this. But it is what it is. I might just keep it on my shelves. I already own Lone Women, so I might just like throw it on there because I have space on my shelves right now. I did log this for I don't remember what city we're in. Oh, Paris. I did log that for this. And then I actually finished up Heartstopper Volume 5, which I read for, I think it's 300 points, a book that is primarily set in a school. It was both like their school and then Nick touring colleges and stuff. I enjoyed this one. It was cute. I like this series. I don't have any like real feelings about it, but I don't know, probably 4 stars for that. And then I have started another sightseeing prompt for a book that Brie gave 5 stars, and I'm reading The Hunger Games. I don't have my copy. It's upstairs, but I have made it to the end of part something where the interview had just started. This is my 3rd time reading this. I read it in high school right before the movie came out. I read it again in 2020, and then I'm reading it now. Obsessed with it. I love it. And then I think this prompt is 500 points for a book that Brie gave 5 stars. That would make sense. So I am going to finish up The Hunger Games tomorrow and wrap up this video. I feel like that's a good stopping point. I'm hoping I can finish it pretty early in the day, and I'm hoping that is before the next city drops, but either way, I'm gonna finish The Hunger Games first and wrap that up in this video. Ending a vlog like this is so hard because I don't specifically want to be doing weekly vlogs because that just like doesn't work in my brain, but I'm like, when do I end it? But I'm doing a themed vlog after this, so I want to give you my final thoughts on all of the books, but tons of things have been read in this video, and I'm loving The Hunger Games as usual, so I am going to get back to that, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I have a secret for you about the Amazing Readathon. So recently it was announced that there's a U-turn that is happening, and it will impact one team for the 6th leg. Each team got 2 votes to cast for what team they wanted to receive the U-turn, and then the 5 producers also each got a vote. And none of the producers voted for Team Spooky. So that's just a little hint for you about the Amazing Readathon. Speaking of that, I got another 500 points for sightseeing for a book that Brie gave 5 stars with The Hunger Games. Also 5 stars for me. Truly just obsessed with it. It's been so long since I've read this. I forgot that Seneca Crane was not in this book. And then I googled it. He's only mentioned in the 2nd book, like when he dies. Weird. Anyway, I love this. It feels so similar to the movie, but also there's just like some extra stuff in here that I really enjoy, and I'm excited to move on to Catching Fire soon. So in the first 11 days and the first 4 legs, I got through 10 books. 3 of them were DNFs at halfway into the book. These were the 4 books that I read for cities, and then these plus Heartstopper Volume 5 were all sightseeing prompts. It is not too late to join. You will just jump in where the team currently is with your reading. I would personally recommend joining Team Spooky. If you've made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you were here, you can leave me a tree for a step past darkness, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!